One of my biggest takeaways from this course was simple is often a lot better when making healthy meals for myself. In the first cooking video assignment, I made a meal that had a lot of steps and was relatively complex. And I don't think that was a realistic meal to make consistently. So I've been working on making healthy meals that are a lot simpler to make, and I was trying to represent that in this video. The reason I've been working on making simpler, more convenient meals is just because a lot of times it's more challenging to make healthy meals if it's like preparing fresh vegetables or whatever versus just heating up a box of noodles or something. Uh, so the focus, like I said, was on working on incorporating meals into my diet more consistently that are a lot more healthy. And because I want to increase the consistency, I am focusing on conveniency as well. My plant-based protein for this meal is broccoli. Broccoli is relatively high in protein. Protein makes up about 29% of its dry weight, which is higher than a lot of other vegetables. So it's a good source of protein for this meal. I also prefer broccoli to a lot of other vegetables, which is really nice because when I'm making a simple meal, I don't have to add a lot to the flavor or season the vegetables so they taste better to me. I can just say, oh, it's broccoli, I like that, and just cook it, which is nice. For my healthy lipid, I used avocado oil. Olive oil would have also been good and honestly might have been a little better as it has slightly higher levels of certain micronutrients, but we didn't have any olive oil in the kitchen, and I just decided to use avocado oil instead. Avocado oil is a relatively nutritious lipid. It's a good source of healthy fats and antioxidants. It actually has benefits for the heart due to its content of iolic acid, which is a monosaturated omega-9 fatty acid. The whole grain in this meal is quinoa. I used quinoa because it's easy whole grain to cook and it goes really well with most vegetables I've found. Normally for a meal like this, I might use rice and maybe have chicken with it, but since the focus was a healthier, more plant-based meal, I chose to use quinoa, and I actually really enjoyed it, which was nice because I have not always enjoyed eating quinoa in the past, but it was good this time. Another benefit to using quinoa instead of rice or something like I would normally use is the protein. Quinoa has roughly twice the protein per serving, and is also slightly higher in fiber, which makes it a much healthier alternative to more processed grains. Cooking my meal was pretty easy. It only took about half an hour to prep and cook all of the ingredients. It was pretty simple, so going forward, it might be something I include with other foods to maybe make it a little bit more complex or interesting. But overall, it tasted really good and it was easy to prepare, which, like I said, was the goal for this meal, so I'm really happy about that. I think I'm going to start making this meal and meals a lot similar to it, a lot more, just because of how easy it was and how like filling and nutritious it felt. So that was pretty cool. Preparing my meal was pretty simple. I just got out all my ingredients, put some oil in a pan, diced up some garlic and put that in the oil and let that just cook for a bit. Well, I chopped up the broccoli, then I put that in the pan with the garlic. And while the broccoli was cooking, I put the quinoa on the burner and then let that cook. And then it was all done, and I took it off and I ate it. So that's what happened. I chose to keep the seasoning for this meal pretty simple. I just used garlic and salt and pepper. I was surprised to learn that garlic can actually be really healthy. Garlic has some pretty cool health benefits that include reducing high blood pressure, lowering cholesterol levels. Garlic can also help with the prevention of cancer. It has antibiotic properties, and there's research to suggest that it can prevent Alzheimer's and dementia, and even and even improve athletic performance, which is very surprising. I was a little confused as to how garlic can do all of this, and I did do some research, and to the best of my understanding, the reason garlic is so healthy is it's just got a lot of micronutrients that can help in a lot of different ways. So that was cool. As far as specifically limiting chronic disease, the only thing I could find was about broccoli, and that said that broccoli could lower your risk of having a coronary heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and several types of cancer. But none of that was definitive, as the article I was reading was based off of a relatively recent study, and like I said, it was not definitive, it was just suggestive. But I would imagine that eating healthily, like healthy foods like all these other foods, consistently would also lower the risk of almost all chronic diseases.
So overall, I would say even though this meal was maybe not the most challenging meal to cook, I think it was an accurate representation of a lot of the ideals that I've picked up on in this class, and I think it went really well. It's definitely something I hope I can continue to replicate in the future.